Good morning. In farm news, Commodity Futures Trading Commission has filed a civil enforcement complaint against Kraft Foods Group along with its broker, alleging the company manipulated the Chicago wheat futures market in 2011. The complaint alleges that Kraft wanted to drive down high cash prices, so they bought 3,150 wheat futures contracts worth $93.5 million. That amounted to 87% of the open interest in the contract. Kraft uses about 2.5 million bushels of soft red winter wheat per month. The complaint alleges that Kraft had no intention of taking delivery of the wheat. North Dakota Soybean Council celebrating a new board of executive officers. The group held elections during a meeting March 31st, and Tyler Speak of Milner was elected chairman of the board. He represents soybean farmers in Ransom and Sargent counties. The board elected Mike Appert of Hazelton vice chairman. He represents soybean farmers in 21 counties of southwestern North Dakota. Rick Albrecht of Wimbledon, secretary. He serves Barnes County. Northwood producer Troy Uglum, elected treasurer. Uglum represents Grand Forks and Trail counties. Farmland prices in Iowa are down by an average of 7.6% over the past 6 months, 11% lower than a year ago. The report by the Iowa Realtors Land Institute said that all 9 Iowa crop acreage districts showed a decrease in value since September that ranged from 4.6% in the southwest to 11% in the northeast. The twice-yearly survey, March and September, carried out since 1978, said pasture prices went higher with demand for cattle. One business says they are already seeing the impact of this price decline.
Our equipment, new equipment, is not going down in price. So the producer's faced with higher prices and a lower price he's getting what he sells, and so he's not spending quite as much. So we're seeing our business off 50% from 12 to 18 months ago. So it's come down quite a bit.
50%. He says he plans to keep an eye on the markets to see when business might rebound again. The Environmental Protection Agency has more than doubled the number of U.S. states where Dow AgroScience's new herbicide can be used, and North Dakota and Minnesota is one of them. EPA approved Enlist Duo in 6 states last fall. The regulatory agency Wednesday added 9 more. They are, in alphabetical order, Arkansas, Kansas, Louisiana, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, and Oklahoma. Enlist Duo was developed by Dow AgroSciences, combines 2,4-D with glyphosate to combat herbicide resistance in weeds. It is approved for use in a system on crops like corn and soybeans developed to be tolerant to these herbicides.
Well, the glyphosate solution is to use something else or rotate crops. Don't use glyphosate-resistant crop one right after the other. Use different herbicides with different modes of action. Going back to cultivation and the use of steel for weed control is also something that we're probably going to have to do, even though it kind of interferes with your minimum or no-till, simply because we can't just keep using herbicides and we just get a bigger problem.
Now, speaking of resistance, there are reports that early this spring, kochia jumping out of the ground, widespread in central and western North Dakota. Resistant kochia, another problem weed in the Dakotas. The latest non-existent Sierra Snow Survey, the latest sobering sign of California's worsening drought, and it's hitting farmers harder than ever. Some farmers are taking unprecedented steps to protect not only their crops, but their livelihoods. Nick Janes introduces us to a new wave of farmers in California now turning to crop insurance.
To understand why, for the first time ever, Dan Silva took out crop insurance on his prunes and walnuts.
Just an absolute necessity.
You have to understand the perilous position farmers find themselves in.
This thing is getting to be, it's making me very nervous.
How bad is it really for farmers right now?
Oh, I think we're just at the precipice of being critical, very critical.
He says the state's dwindling water supply, put in sharp focus by Wednesday's non-existent snow survey, is pushing California's ag industry to the brink of catastrophe. Dan decided against planting alfalfa and wheat this season, and the lifelong farmer and former Sutter County supervisor predicts if the drought persists, some crops like tomatoes and alfalfa may at least temporarily be wiped out statewide because there simply won't be enough water to go around.
Some of the farmers in mid parts of the valley that are critically in need of water are not going to be able to farm some of their crops.
It is against that increasingly worrisome backdrop that Dan is plopping down tens of thousands of dollars, about 45 grand on crop insurance this year.
When you look at what it's worth, it's like shaking the dice.
Hoping for a return to normal rainfall isn't a gamble he can afford.
Now, according to an article from industry newspaper Ag Alert, crop insurance policies span nearly 7 million acres and protect $7.6 billion in crops. And today's farming industry in California, it is less about thriving, more a matter of how to survive. Here's the good news. The 6 to 10 day forecast calls for above normal precipitation on the west coast. All right after the break, we will take a check of that forecast and check out our forecast for the weekend coming up.